Welcome to the shop. I don't know how we're going to cut this up on editing. You're going to see me change clothes a couple times. It hit 90 today. That's hot. That's about 3 shirts a day for a guy my size. It's cooled off now. It's evening time, but I've been busy. I had a subscriber, follower, whatever you want to call it, reach out to me, and they inquired about my Van Halen bike. And I got to tell you, I've been a bad steward of that one, and I'll tell you why. So Van Halen bike came together, and it's funny, I released the Dads of Thunder video, and that was kind of the build-up of that machine. So it's been finished 2 years. I've honestly ridden it a handful of times or less, and I had a problem. And it was really, I'm not going to blame the products. I'm not even going to blame the application. I think I started with a tank that was just too bad, and the tank came with this machine. This machine came out of a junkyard. I kid you not, honest to goodness. This came out of a junkyard. It was just a frame and an axle and a tank. And the tank was just roached inside. It was just as rusty. It didn't have a cap on it. It was really, really bad. And I thought I could save it. And you know, here's kind of the mantra here is we try to save everything. And sometimes you shoot and you miss, you know. And I missed. And so I painted this tank up. I was really pleased with it. I got a lot of comments on it, and I just really like it so much so I'm going to try to redo it, but I'm not going to use this tank. This tank's too far gone. So it's been etched twice. It's been lined twice. It was lined when I got it, and it just didn't hold up. On top of that's the inside, so the inside is just terrible, and then the outside, my paint has let go. And this, if you see close, it's kind of hard to tell with the angles. I don't know how this is going to look on the screen, but the paint is letting go. So what we've got is a really cool conversation piece and wall hanger. Y'all ready for this? Y'all sit down. Okay. Look what the inside did. So 2 years ago, and if you had smell-o-vision, you would be holding your nose right now. It's bad. It's very, very bad. I've never seen anything like it. So what happened was, it's chalky too, kind of weird. I lined that tank, and the liner, I rushed it. My fault, I own it. I rushed the liner. I didn't let it sit maybe 24 hours before I put fuel in it. That's not long enough. And the liner let go, and I could see it let go from the side of the tank, and it was just kind of do this when the fuel moved. And I thought, well, the best thing I can do is get all that fuel out of there and try to reassess it. Well, you know, life gets in the way. I drained the tank, and the machine ended up going up on the shelf when I built the shelf, and it just sat there, and I never addressed it until today. And I had no idea that the paint was letting go on the outside, and I never realized that the inside would do that. So the tank's gone. There's just really nothing I can do about it. I'll pull the scoops off. They are the nicer scoops. If you're going to buy the aftermarket ones, these are the nicer scoops. I don't know if the petcock is be salvageable or not. You know, we'll look at it and see. If it cleans up well, I'll use it. But what a shame. What a shame. And it just breaks my heart. It really does. A lot of time, a lot of effort went into that tank, and I was really pleased with how well it turned out. But it's water under the bridge now. Got another tank. This is also off of 84, I believe, and it is etching right now. I've got it sit. I'm using, what am I using? Distilled vinegar is what I'm using. Yeah, I get this at the grocery store. White distilled vinegar. I get about 3 gallons of this, and I etched this tank first. It worked perfect. It came out great. And there's fuel in it. I rode this machine. This is the 84 from last week's video. That machine is spot on. Rode it today, had a good time with it. Took the vinegar out of that and I put it in a 5-gallon bucket and kept it. Got this tank ready to go and then poured it in here. You can do about 2 tanks with about $12 worth of vinegar. And as for the sediment that comes out, you'll be amazed at how much rust just that vinegar will bring out of a tank. So that's what we're gonna do. This tank's shot. I hate to even say that, but it is. It's just gone. So we're gonna end up with a stock tank back on it for the end of this video. I want to put it on the track. So that's what the subscriber was asking. Not only did he want to see it again, he wanted it to go out on the track. And so I'm gonna oblige you and do that. So if you're new to the channel, and when I made this video, when I built this machine, our subscribership has probably doubled or tripled since then. So I'll go over what it is if you're new to the channel. This is not just a 200X. This is a 200X chassis with a 200E Big Red engine, a CFR 230 exhaust from Amazon. That's a little $80 stainless steel is why I got it, because I can weld stainless steel. I cut it, I've modified it, I made this bracket, I've painted the chassis. We got a brand new carb from Curtie on there. 223cycles.net is where you want to go for your carburetor work. Let's see, what else do we do to this machine? Because it has the 200E engine, we lose the brake mount off of this case. And so we're running dual hydraulic master cylinders up top. That gives us disc brakes left and right, hand controls only. No foot pedal on this one, so you gotta be mindful of that. I hid the battery here in the back, just plugged it right here in the back of the frame. Kind of hid it down low where you wouldn't see it. This is actually the battery box out of the Big Red. I just cut the sides off of it, shaped it up, and mounted it here on the side. We have a rectifier, a relay. This is the wiring harness from the Big Red. And then this is the 200E engine out of the Big Red. So we have full start. We have high and low, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if I could make that happen. We also have electric start from the factory starter. See where I notched the frame and reinforced it there? Yep, it clears. It's not touching. I get that question a lot. So that was fun. I'd never made one of these before. I'm one of those guys when you say, oh, that won't fit, that won't work. I'm going to try to find out for myself. It's not that I don't believe you. I just want to know for sure. So I tried it. It fits. Would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't. I would recommend, Chloe's coming. I would recommend a 200M if you want the electric start feature. Take a 200M, take that front end and put it on a Big Red, take that engine and wiring harness and stick in a 200X, and you will have upgraded both of those machines all the way around. If that's what you want to do. If you want to do an electric start 200X, if you're willing to give up the hand clutch, then I recommend a 200M. For that, it does not have the sub transmission, which is, this is what makes it problematic to make it fit in the frame here. It's very, very tight. It will fit, but it's very tight. Plus the 200M, you have a much easier gear selection for sprockets. You can just change the sprocket straight out. You don't have to deal with all that sub transmission. So let's fire it up and let her run. And just like the Big Red, I kept all the controls. I kept all the wiring harness. The only thing I didn't move over was the key. I didn't need it. I don't think I'm going to be leaving it anywhere where I need a key. But yeah, that was made the easiest swap. If you're going to do a motor swap, get the harness that came with the engine. That's just so much easier. That applies to cars too. If you're putting an LS in something, get the wiring harness. Get the computer, you know. If you're doing a motor swap, get the harness that came with that engine. You will save yourself so much headaches. I'm going to let this actually sit for about 3 to 4 days with that vinegar in it. When you put these on, let the cap, here's some tricks. Fill it up to where the cap is submerged. You see how much I have in there, okay? But don't screw the cap down, because it will build pressure. As it gets hotter in this building, it will build pressure, and that's going to need to escape that tank. As for this, there's really nothing to do here. It was built 2 years ago. It was ridden a handful of times, and it was put on a shelf. Basic maintenance, you know, we could probably, you know, check the oil and air pressure in the tires and stuff, but we're going to put it on the track. It's downshift, and so if you don't know, the early engines are downshift, and 85, 84, 85, I'm not sure, they went to an upshift pattern, which is the bulk of the machines that I ride are upshift. And so that's going to be interesting. It's just one of those things, you just got to learn it. But that's it. I'm going to try to get this tank going, and maybe we'll do a second video, see what the weather's like. It has rained every day here for a solid week. Yesterday and the day before was the first 2 days it didn't rain, and the track dried out enough. I got the tractor on it yesterday, did some grade work because the track had completely washed out. When you see it, you'll see the grass is starting to grow around it. It's just been so wet. But yeah, next time out, next video, we should have 3, maybe 4 vehicles that need to hit the track. The TRX has not been on the track, no official time. This 84, I really do want to put it on the track before I sell it, just what a stock, you know, 200X will do. This would be, you know, kind of a hybrid. If you remember, we really haven't gone over this, but here's our track leader, is the 84 250R at 3915. 86 250R, that's our liquid cooled 250R, 3950. 84 200X, this is the one that had the wide axle. It pushed really, really bad in the corners, but it made a pretty good time. 85 350X, code red. 84 Odyssey, which I know we could, there's more in that. If I can get it on the track before we sell it, that's I'm thinking that could be the new track record. It feels faster. And then the white 85X, but I got to tell you, I'll give a caveat on that one. The track has changed so much since those times, since those bottom times were placed. There's an extra turn in it. The track's smoother, it's wider, it's a lot faster. So, you know, those numbers, take them with a grain of salt. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all come back next week and we're going to go out on a track. We're not going to do all this talking. We're just going to do some track riding. See you then. Bye.